so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Shiju, for the nice introduction. And I really appreciate the initiative that you are taking to spread the knowledge to the students so that they can spread their wings and they can reach to the newest heights. And I really appreciate the you are not sitting idle, and the every time, each and every time you are utilizing your wisdom to share the knowledge. And as you know, the knowledge is the only wealth in the world which increases by sharing. And I am happy to be a part of this organization, and also to be a part of this presentation, which is very important, that future recruitment practices. And I have a colleague with me today, Jikku Kurian, Jikku Susan Kurian. She is basically, an HR professional plus academy, and now currently she is in the Lead College of Management, and she will be taking, some session, some part of this this program. Okay, let me now share. There are some slides. Okay, so I will share my slide. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's coming, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Can
Yes.
okay. Can make it. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yes. Yes. Now, okay, so future recruitment practices. So we will be discussing for the next 1 or 1.5 hours about the future recruitment practices, a webinar organized by Bimlabs on 14 May 2020. And we are the resource persons are already been introduced. Now, what are the objectives of this program? It is first we will be giving an introduction about the world of opportunities and expectations of an organization, and understand the industry needs. How students, a fresher can understand the industry needs. How to create a CV, and sources to apply and connect with recruiters, and how to prepare for better performance in interview and group discussion. We have added one more item in this presentation. We received a specific request from one of our students, and it was about, he wants to know about how he can join a Navaratna company, which is we really appreciate that question, because it was very specific. So we have prepared on that also, so that also we will be presenting in addition to these objectives. Dear friends, the first topic is introduction to the world of opportunities. So when I speak about the introduction about the world of opportunities, I remember when I started my career. When I started my career, I was waiting for Wednesdays. You know what is the importance of Wednesdays? On Wednesday, the Hindu newspaper will come with a lot of job opportunities, and these job opportunities, and I still remember the caption of that advertisement, the job advertisement. The caption was, it goes like this: "No, opportunity knocks every Wednesday." That was the caption, and every Wednesday we used to wait for that opportunities column, and we used to send, find out the address from the employer, from the newspaper, and we were sending the applications by post to each employer, and whether we don't know whether it will reach to the right person or not. But my dear friends, now it has changed drastically. I must say that you are in a position to access to the new job at every point of time. That is what the importance of technology, or technology brought to us, or the accessibility to the information is much greater than what what a person who has started his career 24 years ago. So you are all lucky to have access to various opportunities released in the world in every minute. I must say that earlier it was the opportunity was knocking on Wednesdays. Now opportunities are knocking on every minute. So you are all very much lucky in that case. But again, when I am telling about the lucky, you are all aware that how our current situation is moving in. And this current situation, when we are comparing to this current situation, I must say that there is only one thing which is not going to be changed in after, or maybe 6 months later, or after this lockdown and all those corona situation. There is one thing which is not going to be changed. What is that thing? It is technology. And this technology is going to connect all of us. I will give you an example. There is a tribe in Africa. These tribals are they are still depending upon the cattle, and they if at all you are telling them we will give you we will construct a home for you, they will not accept that home, because they believe that cattle are their life and they are moving after the cattle, and they don't have a good home and they are just staying in the tents. This tribe is called the Maasai tribes in Africa. But there is one thing which makes them different. That is what called, all of them have got a smartphone in their hand. Just imagine a person or a tribe in Africa. They don't have anything, but they have a smartphone through which they are connected to the world. So, dear friends, this technology has changed our life. And even in this stage, like I am sitting in my home and I am able to address all of you, and from different parts of India or different parts of Kerala. So it is because of this technology. Now you are the people, you are the luckiest people of technology, because you are so young and you are all the technology whatever going to bring, and you will be able to enjoy that. So technology supported job information. How the technology supported job information? There are various job portals are available, and like Naukri and many Indeed job portal, LinkedIn, Facebook, all these are there. So based on this, you can access the job. Now social media, I just told you the names here itself. So through the social media, you will be getting the information on the job and new jobs. Like if you look at the again, I will go back to some 15 years ago. 15 years ago, if you look at the a street or a street in a city, there would be at least 10. I mean, if it is a city like Trivandrum, there will be at least 10 institutes which teaches the Pitman shorthand. I'm not sure whether the participants would have even heard about that. Pitman's Shorthand and Typewriting Institute. It was a very lucrative job in 15 years ago, and even my father started as a typist in a company. So at that time, if you want to become a secretary and you learn the Pitman shorthand, and you can be a secretary or a stenographer in an organization, and you can move to the next ladder. Now, if I am asking about the stenographer, I am sure that the millennials who are listening this presentation may not be even knowing what is stenography position. That is being completely taken over by the computer, and the computer has taken over. And also then we listen to the programmer, and and many jobs and many things which were paid earlier, now it is not being paid. I am giving you an example of videography. And we can, if you are going to the YouTube, you can see a lot of videos which is at free of cost. Just imagine 10 or 20 years ago, this videography was to see a video, you have to take a cassette from the shop, and you have to play that. So a lot of new jobs are coming. In place of stenography, now the computer operator is there. And so this is how the new jobs are being coming up. Now, if you are looking at the future position, now you are all into the AEC. Many of you have told me that you want to, or you have expressed your desire to learn about how to get a job in AEC industry. Now, AEC industry, like architect, engineering, and construction. In this industry, a lot of new evolution are coming up. 3D, 3D printing. Based on that, new job will be coming, and the planning and the the drawing, how to make the new drawing. All those old conventional methods have gone, and you are all depending upon the new technology. So new jobs are coming up. Knowledge and wisdom. This is something very important in the new generation or in the coming world, because earlier I am sure that if you prepare well on a particular subject, I'm sure that you will pass the exam, and also you will get interviewed by someone, and you will get a job. But now the situation has changed. If you are able to apply your wisdom, or if you have a wisdom, then only you can. What is the difference between the knowledge and wisdom? Knowledge and wisdom is if you are able to apply the knowledge you have learned in a practical sense, that is called wisdom. So if you want to become a person, or if you want to become to join any company, this is one of the very important. But just knowledge will not be sufficient to get a job in a company. And technology supported selection process. My dear friends, this is something going to happen in very drastically in organizations, and that is going to not. I'm not telling that it is going to happen within 6 months. No, it is already happened, and it will be aggressive from tomorrow onwards. What is that? Technology supported selection process. As you know, we are taking a U-turn. What is a U-turn? When you are planning something, and you are planning to go to a particular place with your car, and you have all the things there, in the water bottle is there, food is there, you are collecting everything, and you are just moving ahead, and suddenly you are saying that your ways are blocked in front. What do you do? You have to take a U-turn. This is what now happening. And the surprising thing is, we were having all the tools to take the U-turn was already there, like video conferencing was there, and all this tool. We are now hearing about the Zoom. The Zoom was actually there. Actually there, 3 years ago it was there. And also there are some other techniques, video conferencing tools called Teams and many things, Skype, many things are there, but we were not using that. And this is what I'm telling about. When you are taking the whole industry, the whole scenario is taking a U-turn here. And this COVID has actually encouraged us to all these tools in the workplace. I will tell you why it is going to happen from tomorrow, because you just imagine you have to take a person from Bangalore, you have to interview them. Now they cannot travel to Kerala for the next 3 months. I am telling you, at least for the next 2 months, they will not be able to travel to Kerala. Now what you will do? You will set a Zoom video meeting with them, and then you will interview online. And if there is any questions or any test papers, that is also available. You will upload that. Tell the candidate to do that, and have the video conference. Interview them, and then I am telling, companies are not even asking them to come to the office, and they are giving an appointment letter online. This is, dear friends, this is happening. Why I'm telling, I have signed for the last 3 weeks around 10 appointment orders without seeing the candidate. This is the reality. And all of you listening, the millennials, should prepare to attend this technology supported selection process. This is a must. And now the next thing is community supported selection. What is community supported selection? For example, in my organization, suppose I want to take a fresher or even experienced candidate. Now I will speak more about the freshers because I know that all of you are, most of you will be the freshers. So when I want to take a fresher candidate, what I will do is I will go to, or my recruiter, first what he is doing, we have a community developed inside the organization. We will be asking them reference. This was actually happening in the previous time also, I mean earlier also, but that was a face-to-face questions. But now what we are doing is we will be just using this social media and we'll be seeing that how this person is connected to our company, or if there is anyone who can make the reference of that particular person. So community supported selection process. So these are some of the major changes that is going to happen in the coming world. So in the recruitment area. Now you can ask, at the end of this session, we will be definitely having a question and answer session so that you can ask me. So, okay, so there is a, okay. Now, look at what are the expectations of an organization. Three things basically, KSA, we call it as KSA. As I already told you, the knowledge is very important, and you have to update every time. That is very, see, when I said about some of the luckiest factors of this generation, there are something which goes against our luck, because when we started our career, referring a book was sufficient. Suppose I refer a book on human resource management, it may not be, or it will not be changing at least for the 1 month, or not 1 month, not even 1 year. I can refer that book on the latest knowledge. But now the situation is very different. Every minute, opportunities are opening up every minute. The same way, the knowledge is also changing every minute. I can the entrepreneur, some of my entrepreneur friends are telling that when they develop a product, and just for information, when they Google them, they see that already this product is developed somewhere in the globe. The same thing is happening about the knowledge also. A lot of updation is happening, so it's very important that you have to update the knowledge. And dear friends, in addition to the book knowledge, like the classroom knowledge, you have to update, you have to join some of the online courses, which is very important. And now the skills and attitude, skills plus attitude will give you the wisdom and how to apply that. Okay, for example, I will give you an example. There is, suppose I am going to recruit an accountant, and he is a BCom graduate person. He is attending my interview, and I am asking him to write or draw a check. I am asking him to draw a check, and he doesn't know how to draw a check. Then what is the use of knowledge? So here comes the skills plus attitude. Skills, that becomes your wisdom. So if you are able to draw a check, then only you can become because it's a very important thing. You may be knowing the debit and credit entry, but my organization at the entry level, what I want is not to create balance sheet, but what I want is a person who can go to the bank and make the arrangements in the bank. So this is, I'm telling from my experience that interviewed a person, he knows everything, but he doesn't know the basics, like drawing a check. So this is what the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Skills plus attitude to create the wisdom. Okay. Yes. So what are the expectations from an entry level person. From an entry level person, what an organization is expecting? Basic soft skills. This is very important. What are the basic soft skills? Basic soft skills are like, your communication skills and self-initiative, how much you are self-initiative, and leadership skills, and how you are taking the responsibility, teamwork, problem solving, ability to work under pressure. So these are some of the basic soft skills. So an organization taking you, they will be basically looking at the soft skills. If you have that soft skills, there are various methods for that one. How you may be asking how we can assess the soft skills. Some companies are doing the psychometric analysis. Some companies are doing the profiling, and some companies are doing the group discussions, and some companies are doing the interview, and all these based on we can evaluate how is your soft skills. It can be revealed, no problem. So many people are looking at HR interviews very very easy thing, but that is the toughest thing. And knowledge on subject, as I told you, the knowledge on subject is very important. Communication and language skills, I must say that you should at least learn 2 or 3 languages. That is very important. Like, you are going to be a global citizen. Now you may think that now the situation has changed. This recent COVID kind of situation has brought our boundaries closed. But don't think like that, because we are going to work with the support of the technology. We are going to collaborate with our global colleagues, global clients. So it's very important that you should have a command over various languages. I must say that in addition to languages, in addition to English language, you should learn some of the European languages like German, Spanish, something like that. And if you are in India, you should at least learn Hindi and your mother tongue. Of course, you will be knowing that, and English plus all those languages, communication and language skills. Are you an active team member? And again, when I'm telling about the language skills, please note that if the most pathetic part of the classroom education is they are not concentrating on this kind of thing. So you should join in some courses like maybe Bimlabs may be providing such courses, like language skills are there, and some English courses are there. So you should join with that. Okay. Then are you an active team member? This is something very important. It's very, if you are not a team member, you may not be able to be with a team. So how we are assessing that? How an HR person or a recruiter will assess that? In the interview, we will be asking you some questions about, what are your hobbies and interests? And if you are a person with participating in college sports, and suppose you are a leader in captain of football team in your college, that shows you have a leadership skills or you are a team member. Okay, but please remember that you should not lie the interview board or the HR person. മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വൈദ്യനോടും വക്കീലിനോടും പിന്നെ HR മാനേജറോടും ഒരിക്കലും കള്ളം പറയാൻ പാടില്ല, because they will find out it. So it's very easy for us to find out whether if you're lying or not. So you should highlight in your CV and in your interview that the team skills that you are having. It can be anything. It can be a travel to some places. It can be a small, kind of cultural activities that you have organized in your college. It can be anything. So are you an active team member? Suppose you have not participated in such things, you can say that I was a member of that, or I participated in this, and these are my learning experience. Because a team consists of a leader and a follower. If you all of are leaders, then the things will not work out. So that is why sometimes it is also required that a follower is also required. So there is no need that you should always be a leader. You can be a team member also. Are you adaptable to change? Are you adaptable to change? This is something very important. I must say that there is a book, very recently released book called Homo sapiens. This book says about this is about the history of mankind, how the evolution of mankind. It is from the Neanderthal stage to the modern man. It is described there. So he says that the author says that there is only one difference between the other animal and human being. What is that? It is the sociability and adaptability. So the how a person can adaptable to the society, that is the basic change that is the between the human being and the other animals. You just see, you just imagine, if you are putting a fish out of the water, it will die. And if you are putting a a lion into, or something like a lion out of the forest, and you are putting in the zoo, how miserable is his life. But you put a man anywhere, he can survive, he can adjust with. So the adaptability is with whatever be the situation, whatever be the the situation, or whatever be the society or conditions, you should be able to adapt. I will suggest you to read the book called Who Moved My Cheese, which is a great book, and you can learn how to change, or how can adapt to the change. Is your goals and values being in alignment with the organization's culture and values? And every person is having a goals and values, and if the values are very important, more than the goals, it is values are important, because you are remembered for the values you are observing throughout your life, not the authority or the wealth that you have amassed during your lifetime. For example, if I say the word, in dictionary, some words can be replaced by the by the people. For example, if I say non-violence, a name will, or a face will come to your mind. That is what the values the Mahatma Gandhi has observed. So very important that values you should have, and the organization values should align with your values. Okay. Okay. Now this is okay. Connect. How you can apply and connect with a recruiter. Now, I will say that you should go to the LinkedIn and connect with the company recruiter through LinkedIn. It is very important. I'm not marketing LinkedIn. This is a reality, and I get a lot of mail from the new aspiring candidates every day to get connected in the LinkedIn, so that I know that person, and whenever there is an opportunity, I will suggest my recruiter to follow him. Register your profile in a famous job portal. That is very important. And seek for employee referral. From where? From the organization. Suppose you want to join an Navaratna company, you get in friendship with them and get an employee referral from them. So you want to join Infosys, you do that and select the companies that you want to join, and get in touch with the recruiter through the social media, and seek for employee referrals. Okay, very good. Yes. How to create a CV? This is, of course, we are going a little ahead, like the recruitment practices, rather than a little ahead, like how to create a CV. It's very important that career objective you have to mention, and contact information, education qualification, transferable skills. Transferable skills that, like this is basically like an extension of your basic soft skills. And hobbies and interests, this is also you should show in your CV. And now this is an example of a CV which I have taken. This is basically attract the attention of a recruiter, because it's very clearly written what is the career objective. When you write a career objective, always see that it attracts the organization. Like I will read out this: diligent university student who has never failed to meet a project deadline during 4 years at Texas A&M, aiming to leverage my writing, sales skills, and knowledge of product development to land an internship for a company, that is a company's marketing team. Ability to critically think and implement areas will help reach more consumers and expand its outreach. So this is how you have to write your CV. Maybe in a different session, in a coming up session, we can exclusively discuss on how to create your CV. And then education, it should be very short, and the people you can see that they start with GPA, so that attracts the recruiters attention. and relevant completed courses, awards, honors, clubs and organization, and shop marketing projects, what all the things they have done, additional skills. So these are the way of, this I just show you and a CV. Maybe we can in the coming classes we can discuss more about how to create a CV. Okay, now yes. Now, this is something very important. As I said, this is one of the interview techniques through which we identify if the candidate is having the basic soft skills basic soft skills. So now, and I am very much sure that Jikku is very much experienced in conducting job discussions and also assessing and evaluating the job descriptions in his career, and also currently she is working as assistant professor in lead management, and she is training a lot of students on group discussion. Now I invite Jikku to carry on session on the group discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi. Good evening, friends. I'll carry on with this topic, group discussion. And before starting on with the topic, I'd like to know whether you have any idea about what is the purpose of conducting group discussion. See, irrespective of your job or your higher studies, if you plan for your higher education, or if you plan for a Navaratna, Mini Ratna or Maharatna companies, or even if you plan for software companies, manufacturing companies, any sort of companies, one criteria which is included in the selection process is group discussion. And usually corporates as well as educational institutions use this methodology to evaluate the capabilities, or we can say the skill sets possessed by the candidates who approach them either to join as a student or to join as an employee. So before getting into what are the factors which you should take into consideration when you attend a group discussion, let me first tell you a few skill sets which will be evaluated in this process of group discussion. So as you may be already aware of, communication is one skill which will be evaluated in a group discussion process, followed by knowledge. Knowledge on any topic or every topic which is given for the purpose of discussion. Like, I'll tell you what happened when I completed my graduation and I wrote entrance examination to get admission for an MBA course. I cleared the entrance examination and I was kind of too much overconfident. I thought if I clear the entrance examination, I'll conquer, I'll crack anything. And the next round was group discussion. And all the people who knew me, like my friends at home, parents, everybody they asked me to read newspapers on a regular basis and to make notes of it and to revise before going for a group discussion. But, I took it for granted. I thought I'm capable enough to go and discuss on any topic. And you know what happened? When I went for the discussion, the topic which they gave was some international affairs, which was there in the newspaper the before day of the discussion. And I couldn't open my mouth because I didn't know anything. So it was a great regret in my life, of course, because that was a dream institution of mine, which I planned to get admission to. Though I cracked the entrance examination, I was not able to get admission because I was too much overconfident. It was not like overconfident. I was too much overconfident that I'll be able to talk. So when you go for a group discussion, the organizations will check your communication skills plus your knowledge. Just like you cannot bluff or you cannot beat around the bush. When some topic is given, you should be in a position to talk very in depth and with proper points and stuff. So another factor which will be assessed will be your reasoning skills, your flexibility, your leadership qualities, the initiative, the kind of initiative which you can take, the clarity on the concepts which you are discussing, and your ability to work in a team. You take any companies, for example, most of the companies encourage the team culture. Like they encourage their employees to work in teams and groups. So if you are not able to consider yourself as a good team member, or you cannot work with a team, if you feel like I should grow or only I should grow, then you are not the right person to be in a team. So that will also be measured in a group discussion. And the other, there are a few more things like listening skills, your assertiveness, and your patience. So now I hope you understood that there are too many factors which an organization assesses when a candidate gets into for group discussion. You may get only 20 minutes or 25 minutes max for a discussion. But again, that depends on the number of candidates who attend the interview. If there are too many candidates, walk-ins are more. You may get only maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes. In that 15 minutes, these many skill sets will be analyzed or assessed by the company people. So what you should take into consideration is, don't take group discussion for granted. Don't think that even whether, irrespective of whether you prepare or you don't prepare, you'll be able to go and speak. It will not happen. So there are certain rules which you should take into consideration when you plan to attend a group discussion. Rule number 1 is always prepare. So there are too many ways which we prepare, like when students lack communication skills, we usually tell them, go and stand in front of a mirror and keep talking, because the mirror will reflect what you exactly are. That is like, if you go and stand in front of a group of people and you start talking and you're not able to present yourself properly, there may be people who make fun of you, who make mockery of you. There will be people who will not give you a proper feedback, thinking that you may feel bad, your ego may be hurt. So mirror will not do all those things. Mirror will give you an exact reflection of what you are and what you are doing. So the same thing, when you are planning to go ahead, like go for a group discussion, the first thing what you should do is prepare. Because usually what happens is, you may read some topics, you may be reading newspapers on a regular basis, you may be following up the news, but what happens is suddenly, all of a sudden, when you get a topic, usually mostly whenever we go for an interview, we'll be tensed. That is a part of the interview process. You will be tensed. And when we are tensed, usually what happens is, even if you know well, you will not get any points, like proper points at that time. So to eliminate this tension or eliminate the stress, it is always better you go and you prepare well before going for the actual group discussion process, so that you will be relaxed, you will feel ease whenever you attend the actual group discussion process. You can have your own friends or a group of people with whom you are comfortable. You can call them, take small topics, like simple topics, and start discussion. You will be able to eliminate your fear factor. You will be able to improve your communication skills, and you will also be able to brush up what are the skills you are lacking at. And when you prepare, if you go for a group discussion after proper preparation, you take it from me that the people who are the moderators there will be able to understand that you are prepared. And that shows that if whatever task is assigned, that can be assigned to you with confidence, because you will prepare properly before actually executing that. And second part is to know the participants. What I have seen usually in group discussion is, people will come with empty hands. They'll not have anything with them when they come for group discussion. This is actually wrong. It's better you always carry a notepad and a pen when you go for a group discussion. And these are two major factors will be taken care if you carry a notepad and a pen. One is when you get time to think, like when the moderator gives you time to think and prepare, whatever important points that come to your mind, that pop up in your mind, you will be able to note down. Otherwise, the moment you start discussion, somebody else will be talking the points which you thought, and suddenly in that you will be panicked, and you may forget what are the other points which you were thinking. That happens. So it's always better you carry a notepad and a pen and note down all the points, whichever comes to your mind when you prepare. And another thing which you should take in, you should understand is this is also an avenue where you can showcase your people skills and also your presence of mind. So what happens whenever somebody else talks, if they speak some important points, you can note it down that points as well. Also, whenever the team introduces themselves, you can note down their names. So what happens is when the discussion is at its peak, it's like we usually call it as the heat of discussion. When you are at the heat of the discussion, nobody will listen to anybody. That is what usually happens. Nobody will listen to anybody. Everybody will be in trying to like come out with their points and to establish their points. So there is a small like a trick. However busy you are, however occupied you are, if somebody calls you by your name, immediately you listen to them. So this is what you should do when the discussion is at its peak, or when you are at the heat of the discussion. If you want to make a point or you want to support somebody on what they are talking, you can call their name and you can start talking. So there will be a sudden like a change of attention of that person, so that you will also get a chance to speak. Another factor which you should be very careful about is your posture. Like your posture, our posture exhibits what is going on in our mind. Like whether you are aggressive or you are tensed or worried, or whether you are overconfident, you're confident, whatever it is, your posture expresses what goes on in your mind. So imagine you lean back to the chair and you sit very relaxed. That is not a posture which is expected in a GD, because that will make the people feel that the moderators or the assessment people feel that you are too much relaxed. Or if you lean forward too much, that shows your aggression. So it is always better you manage a balance, so that you will have a proper understanding will be created in the mind of the moderators and the evaluators. And this also shows empathy and respect to others. If you lean too much forward, that shows you are very aggressive, and if you lean too much backward, it shows you are very much relaxed. Both will not showcase your respect for others. But when you manage a balanced posture, it shows that you are empathetic to others as well as you respect others. Next is the rule number 4. Now we have discussed 3 rules. Rule number 1 is to prepare. Rule number 2 is to know the participants, and rule number 3 is to take care of your posture. And there is a rule number 4. This is to take charge. I have seen people coming for group discussion. They will listen to everything what others are speaking. In between, they'll make their point like, yeah, I agree with you. And they may smile, they may nod their head, and the only statement which they usually make is, I agree with you. Yeah, that is right. No, nobody wants somebody to agree with you when it comes to a group discussion, that too when it's for a job or for a competitive examination or an admission. You don't expect somebody to agree with you, actually. And even the people who are assessing you, even they don't want people who agree with for others for everything. So you should take charge. If the moment you get a topic for discussion, start thinking, make out your points, and the moment you are asked to start the discussion, you can introduce first you and then the topic. You should introduce yourself first, and then you can introduce your topic. And one main thing which you should keep in your mind is that you should get up to introduce the topic, provided you are well versed with the topic. Like if you know something, or if you heard something, and if you're going to beat around the bush, please don't get up to introduce the topic. And another thing is that there are 2 like arenas where you can take charge. One is when you introduce the topic, and second is when you conclude. What I have seen is 80% of the group discussions usually will not have any conclusions. Like people don't conclude it properly. I'll give you a small tip for that. I ask you to carry a notepad and a pen. So whenever people start discussing, you can divide it into two parts, positives and negatives, like positive points and negative points. Note down the positive points and negative points as two different columns, two separate columns, so that if you, if you get an opportunity, or if you take the opportunity to conclude, it will be very easy for you to conclude stating that these are the positive points which are discussed and these are the negative points which are discussed, and this is how we conclude. So that is taking charge. Next is rule number 5 is to retain your balance. You please understand that group discussion is not a wrestling competition, or group discussion is not somewhere you are going to, no, it's not a political parties meet or something like that, where you want to show all your aggression, all your disagreements. It is not like that. People only look at how matured you are at handling others' opinion. Maybe somebody will speak something which you feel very rubbish, which you may not like, which you will not like to agree with at all, which is against your ethics, against your thought process, whatever it is. But we should be matured enough to handle it. You don't have anything to do with somebody's opinion. And that if you are able to handle the discussion like that, it shows how matured you are and how logical your thought process is. So that is retaining your balance. Don't poke too much into others' opinion and drag on discussion with that. Then next is, that is rule number 5. And next we'll see rule number 6. There are 7 rules. That is, follow the company's culture. Now, before you go for a group discussion, you just go through trying to find out the company's culture. Like few companies will prefer people who are aggressive, like companies which are exclusively focused on sales. They'll not need employees who are very like polite and who will take others' opinion, who are too much empathetic. They'll not need employees like that, because that nature of that employees will not suit the culture of the company. So to find out what kind of business the company which you are focusing is doing, and you should develop, understand that culture and plan your group discussion, the process in such a way. If the company is a company which looks for very much polite and balanced and matured employees, you can proceed with the group discussion in that way. If a company is looking for very much aggressive employees, you can practice in that way. Then the last rule is follow your domain. So whenever you go for your domain is like, for example, you are from human resources or you are from sales, you understand the particular nature of your domain. For example, if you take human resources, we like people who are empathetic. And we like people who understand others. We like people who with emotional intelligence, so that they'll be able to understand the feelings of others and act accordingly if situations demand and if the company policy agrees. And if you look at marketing or sales, purely sales, they need employees who are aggressive, who are go-getters, and who will, by hook or crook will get their things done. So depending on the nature of the domain you're going for interview, you plan your entire group discussion process. So this is what about group discussion. I hope you got some idea about group discussion. If you still need some more inputs, we will plan it in the coming sessions, and I'll give you just a glimpse after this. Because there was a query on Navratna companies, I'll just give you a glimpse on Navratna companies also, and the GATE examinations also. And we can say, what I would like to say is, like, based on the company's turnover and the net worth of the company and the net profit on the annual basis, companies are divided into 3, that is Maharatna, Navaratna, and Mini Ratna companies. And for almost, there are, though it's like the name was given because initially there were 9 companies included in Navaratna, and then this government of India has given the status to these companies in the year 1997. So they categorized the central public sector enterprises, CPSES, into 3 categories, that is Navaratna, Mini Ratna, and Maharatna. In that, under Navaratna, there were 9 companies. That is why it was initially called as Navaratna. But this processing, as I told you, was done on the basis of the company's turnover, net worth, and net profit on an annual basis. But as of now we have 16 companies which are grouped under this classification of Navratna. And you can see in this PPT, there are 16 companies which are there in this Navratna companies.
Jikku, are you able to see the PPT?
This is still in group discussions.
That's your dive. Not okay. Now it's moving. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Now
the next one, sir.
Okay.
This I have already finished. Yeah. So these are the 16 Navratna companies, and for most of these companies, the eligibility criteria for selection is GATE examination. And after that is like for most of few companies recruit based on the score of GATE examination, but whereas few other companies, GATE is a shortlisting criteria for them, and other than that, they have their own technical interviews, HR interviews, and all those for the final selection. But if you take all the 16 Navratna companies, majority of these companies, the base for recruitment is like GATE examination. And you also know about GATE examination, this graduate aptitude test in engineering. This is a 3-year examination where there are 65 multiple choice or numerical questions, and it is conducted usually by IISc or any of the IITs, IIT Roorkee, Delhi, Guwahati, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Madras, or Bombay. This year in 2020, the GATE examination was conducted by IIT Delhi. And this year, the cutoff for general category was 27.2. And the highest score, it usually varies. And the highest score, what I have seen is the highest score for computer science was 91 out of 100 marks. So, of course, and there are other benefits also for this GATE examination. If you want, other than getting into this Navratna companies, not only for this recruitment process, if you want to get admission into IITs or IIScs for like MTech or ME, or even for the PhD program, this GATE score will be taken as the base. And many of the prestigious like PSUs, public sector undertakings, like they offer as high salary as 14.9 lakhs for the people who qualify GATE with good marks, like good score. So this is what I wanted to communicate. So I have discussed about group discussion and what are the various skill sets which will be checked during a group discussion process, and what are the preparations you need to do while before going for a group discussion, and also a glimpse of Navratna companies and the eligibility criteria to get through in a Navratna company. So that's it. I'm signing off and giving the session back to Vinod sir.
Okay. Thank you, Jikku, for the presentation. It was good and highly informative. Now, I will give you some interview tips for the freshers. Like, the first thing is try to understand more about the company. It is, I really appreciate a comment from one of the participants that they want to join a Navaratna company, which is really appreciative, because it's very important that look around and see that what companies I can join. For example, if you are in an AEC company, and try to find out the companies in Trivandrum. If you want to be, start with Trivandrum. How many companies are there in this construction area? How many companies are there? There may be even, the architect companies will also be there. So what are those companies? So try to understand more about the, first list out the companies, and then try to understand more about the company. I must say that you can go to the website and see that what are the mission values of the company. That is the easiest way. But I will say that, if you are really want to join in that company and really want to understand the culture of the company, take some time and try to interact with the employees in that company. What is the culture in that company? Maybe, there may be some fascinating words which is written as vision of the company or the mission of the company, but actually what is practiced inside the company will be much, much different, very, very much different. That is the difference between the companies, deviating from the vision. But now here you have a chance to see that how this, these companies are performing and what is the values of that company and how it is managed. So take some time and interact with the employees in that company, so that you will be aware about the values, culture of the company when you are attending the interview. Research on job description. Now, you are receiving you are looking for a particular job, or some job in AEC industry. Research on that job description. What are the requirements of this job? When I started this session, I told an example about interviewing an accountant, where he was able to let me know about, or even able to tell us what are the debit and credit entries, but he is not able to draw a check. So now you have to research on job. What is the actual requirement of that job that you have to research, and then be on time. This is very important, because being on time will show your professional quality, and companies are looking for good professionals. So you need to be on time. I have many experience that a candidate which is highly knowledgeable and highly skilled, but was rejected because not at the interview time on time. Okay, and appear your best at the interview. It's very important that you should have a proper formals when you are going for an interview. It does not mean that you are highly fashionable, but the business formals you should have. If you are wearing a shirt, full shirt, then you should have the instead of Malayalathil പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മടക്കി വെക്കുന്നതിനേക്കാൾ ഭേദം, you have to put the buttons up to the palm, and like that you have to go. And shoes should be polished very well, and even your color of pants and shoes should be matching, and all these things you should be taking consideration. So we need, I think, maybe in future programs we can discuss more about how we can make more attractive in the interview time or interview, how you can appear best in an interview board and answer clearly. Clarity is very important, and you have to practice how you would be answering. You note down some of the expected questions and practice on that one, so that you can answer clearly. Be confident. Of course, this is very important. Always you need to be very much confident. Okay, so these are some of the interview tips for the freshers, and we are going to end this session. So before that, if you have any questions, either you can chat or ask me. Okay.
Dhiral, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. We are open to your questions, and please feel free to ask your concerns and your challenges and all. I'm not sure the guy who asked for the Maharatna, that Navaratna company is attending or not, but that was a good question from him. The guys here, please, you can have a word with both of your HR professionals. Please unmute yourself, or you can type in chat window also. We can discuss.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, Vinod sir. So your presentation, I liked your presentation. Myself, Rohit. I am from Kerala, Trivandrum, and I got the invitation from Shiju sir.
Okay.
And I got a small query. Like this webinar is when.
Your voice is.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Rohit, we can't hear you. Hello, Rohit. I think some issue with the
Rohit,
connectivity.
please unmute. You're muted.
Oh. Let me check. I think something happened in his.
Yeah, tell him to chat.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
Rohit.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the
Sir,
question?
yeah, so I got a query this webinar is for the for how the interview will be happening in the future, as well as Jikku ma'am mentioned about the tips for preparing for the GD. So I got a doubt something regarding as a real person, that person was working in the Technopark for a few years. Then due to some personal reasons, she have to quit the firm. Then right now, what the other companies are saying is that she cannot join back because in the resume the gap is there. So no other companies are right now recruiting her. So just take as a person X. So I have some I need some tips from you, whether like if a person who have a break in his or her career, so how that person can come back to the
How
industry.
to restart the career?
Excel, please.
Great question.
Thank you.
Great question. Actually, this is actually it's a little difficult because when somebody sees in a career or in a CV that there is some break in the CV, then it goes to the recruiter's mind that there may be some issues with the company. But now you should be very specific about the reason of leaving the company. When you are talking to the recruiter, you should give a convincing answer that it is not any issues related to the company or internal issues. It is because of a personal issue that you are you took the break. So that is the best method to convince the interview board. Now, another thing what you can do is, you have to sharpen your skills and knowledge in another area which is more, or I mean, you have to take a career change. Like suppose I am in human resources. Human resources itself, there are a lot of career opportunities are like, it is HR generalist is there, then HR recruiter is there, then HR recruiter, and then we have training and development is there, and payroll process is there. So this is HR is a wide area. So in like this, in any area there will be some other kind of other areas will be there. So you explore that areas and have some additional skills acquired in that area, and then you can convince the interview board that that job was not suiting for me, which is a convincing answer. That job was not suiting for me, and that is why I did not want to continue, and therefore I took the another stream, and now I am trying for that job in this company. So please remember that don't try to make any break in the career. That is very important. So yes, hope this answers your question. That maybe with
I think some cases for the ladies, they need to take the break for their family, because of the marriage and the delivery. So that time the break can happen. So I think Rohit question was something related to that scenario.
Oh, is it because of the personal reasons? Like, yeah, some if ladies,
I'm meeting now. I'm just
if they are taking some maternity leave, there may be some companies are not, but that is a valid reason to convince the employer. I don't think that a professional company will not terminate a person during the maternity leave, or they will be asked to go. A professional company will not do that. And if the reason is due to maternity, and definitely that candidate can convince the next employer that it is due to the maternity I left. It is purely personal reason. It is nothing about the company. So they can convince the interview board, no problem.